Let's think about this real quick. If Candace Owens really believes what she says, that the whole world conspired to take out Charlie Kirk, would she act so confident and so cocky against the family of Charlie Kirk and his business? I don't think so. So here's a formal logic. It's a syllogism. It's called modus tollens. It's called mode that denies. I'll give you an example. If it's raining, streets are wet. Streets are dry. Therefore, it is not raining. Pretty simple, right? You would expect a certain type of evidence to be there if a specific event was happening. Well, this I'm going to use to show if Candace Owens actually believes what she believes. Does she believe what she's saying? So, premise one. If Candace Owens believes that a world government or multiple world governments took out Charlie Kirk, would she act in a way that shows that she believes it's true? Premise two. She does not act as if she believes that's true. Therefore, she doesn't believe what she's saying is true. So it's pretty simple, right? If Candace Owens believes the world government was against her for speaking about Charlie Kirk, not only the U.S. government, by the way, but all the world governments, that all the conspiracy theories that she said, if she believes that that's true, then she would have stopped already. I don't think that she is fearing for her life right now. She claims this, right? But her actions don't follow. So she claimed that going to TPUSA and actually having a debate and open discussion about the evidence that she's providing, and she denied that request in the name of her safety. Later on, she went to a party with all kinds of different influencers, and smiling. There's a video of her and pictures of her. No fear for her life in any way. So she goes to places that it's possible she could be taken out. But she doesn't go to a place where she's confronted with counter evidence of her claims. Because you got to remember, once the conspiracies stop, her channel stops. Her money flow stops. She's the biggest maker of money right now because of Charlie Kirk's death. She's making money from both sides. Conservatives, she split the party, and liberals, who doesn't trust, anything that a conservative government would be doing. So she is making money on both sides, and she's dividing the conservative party. And this is why it's kind of obvious to me that when all this is over and the actual evidence comes out, because she has speculation. Speculation is not evidence. Evidence needs to point in one direction. All her speculations point in many directions. It kind of like there's such a bigger conspiracy involved. I highly doubt she would be talking about it. She wouldn't be talking about it. And in fact, if there was a great conspiracy against her for speaking this truth, she would have been deplatformed already and have had many attempts on her life, many, by now, if it was really what she believes, or I don't believe she believes it. If she really believes what she says, okay, the way they took out Trump, they tried to take him off. They deplatformed him. They banned him from social media. They didn't give him airtime. They banned him from Twitter, and they debanked him. That's why he moved to crypto. A lot of his money into cryptocurrency, and because that is what it looks like when a world government is going against a political opponent. This is exactly what it looks like. It's not happening with Candace. Trump lost so much money trying to get into the presidency, and guess what? He won. Candace, when this is all over, you're going to see that she's going to say, well, they didn't answer my questions. If they would have just been more forthright, then I would not have been, saying all these things or whatever. But she's gonna say that it was just asking questions. But we can ask many questions about her. I don't want to play that game, but it seems like she's doing it to everybody else. She's throwing possibly innocent people under the bus and ruining their reputation because she has a question. Well, how do we know that she was not the one who actually conspired to set up Charlie Kirk? How do we know that? How do we know the person who conspired against Charlie Kirk is making the most money off his death right now with her speculations? How do we know that her husband doesn't work for the British government? I'm just asking questions. He's a very wealthy guy. Isn't he American? I've heard speculation that he wasn't. He's working for the British government. And guess what? The British government doesn't want Ukraine to stop their war. And the biggest example of helping that to continue is to let Trump lose the midterms with the House and the Senate, etc. She could be the tool to divide the Conservative Party and to allow the funding of all this money into Ukraine because Britain doesn't want their war to stop. They want continual funding. How do we know? I can go on and on with speculation just like her. And guess what? It's speculation. Just because you're asking a question doesn't prove it's true. So you have to show the difference between evidence and speculation. She has 20 different conspiracies out there, and one group of her audience believes it, and so they keep watching her. And then she has another conspiracy theory where another group of her audience believes it. So now she has segments of different conspiracies that are feeding her audience. But they all contradict. They are all pointing in different directions. True evidence points in one direction to one suspect, right? Or let's say one government. But she has all kinds of world governments. She even talked about China. But how is China and the U.S. and Israel and France, and she was also saying the Border Patrol agents and people in maroon shirts, instead of just looking at the actual guy they got, she's diverting the attention to other areas. She hasn't even seen the evidence yet. The evidence is going to be brought up by both the defendant and the prosecutors. That's what evidence, that's what we have to wait to see that. She doesn't have that. She doesn't have access to all that. Speculation is not evidence. You got to know the difference. All right, God bless.